Hi guys, welcome to Tarot in the Dark. My name is Tori, and I have no idea why I'm here to do this reading. So we're gonna just dig in and see what Spirit has to say. I just got back from church and I just felt like I needed to do a reading on my way home. I was like, all right, Spirit, I hear you loud and clear. So when I get there, I will cleanse everything and start the reading. So I'm hearing there's major changes taking place behind the scenes. What's going to be shown before you is something far beyond anything you've ever seen. I ask if it's positive or negative. I'm like, what does that mean, Spirit? What does that mean? It's my ancestors, y'all, because they always rhyme when they talk to me. Like it's like they're giving poems or something. They said everything falls into harmony. So whatever it is, it's going to fall into alignment with where and what's supposed to be, okay? Nothing's out of alignment. Divinity and healer. Grounded. Wow. All right. Something about being anchored in this moment. There's something about remaining and staying anchored in the moment. Yeah, look at this. Trust underneath this. Trust the process. Trust the darkness. They're showing me like I'm seeing like the Tower. I'm seeing the Death card. Which there is a Death card at the bottom of the deck here, guys. But they're showing me they're showing me in a different deck. Okay, I'll grab that deck. I need to grab that deck out to do the reading with the tarot card deck they're showing me. So trust the process. Trust the unknown. There's something in regards to things being shaped and formed. They're showing me like the potter and the clay. So basically, God is saying that behind the scenes, what he's doing is forming and shaping things, putting them into the most harmonious position for you. Okay? What I'm hearing too is that you're even being shaped. You're being remastered. I don't know what that means. Oh, okay. I think I kind of have an idea. So, I know nothing about music studios or anything, but anyways, my son, he did some stuff in a music studio, and in the studio, we had to pay for some stuff to be remastered. And it was basically they take the original version and they upgrade it. Ooh, Spirit is so dope. God is amazing, y'all. So he's taking you and upgrading you. Okay, because I'm hearing, let me upgrade you. You're about to be upgraded. That's what this is about. But there's a need for you to stay grounded. And the grounded energy, it's coming through very strongly of reminding you to not forget where you came from. Reminding you to stay humble. To not allow outside influences to cause pain. There's something about shielding you and protecting you from being harmed from outside influences. And that's why you had to be remastered. So for a lot of you, where God is taking you, you can't go there with the same attitude, the same character, the same disposition, the same energy, the same vibes, the same I'm gonna repay them with that same energy. Like God's showing me that, like how people be saying that's exactly what he's saying. Okay, so what Spirit is saying is that, you know how people say I exchange energy with energy? You can't do that and think that God's going to elevate and promote you. This message is coming across very clear, y'all, and I knew it was a reason. I can't imagine what the rest of this is going to come out, because whenever I get this strong urge to sit down and do a reading like this, it's always something that blows my mind. I'm always in awe and amazed at God and the messages that come through. But anyways, so there's something about the upgrade, the elevation, the promotion that you've been asking for, that you've been trying to manifest. even in promoting and elevating just yourself. Because I'm hearing for some of you, your healing journey is not about a partnership. It's not about needing money, finances, a job, or an elevation in those areas. You're simply just asking for your life to be elevated, for your life to be upgraded. You want to have more joy in life. You want to have more peace within. You want to be able to just celebrate yourself and where you're at in the moment. For some of you who are already in partners, you want to have a healthier relationship. You want to be more satisfied in that connection. But for a lot of you, you're asking for God to upgrade you, and you're not asking for anything in particular, like, I don't want this specific person or, this specific job. What I want is my life to be upgraded as a whole. Or, okay, what I'm hearing is that, no, we are going to upgrade your entire life. We're not just upgrading one aspect of your life. We're upgrading you as a whole, the entirety in its entirety is what they're saying. So because of that, there has to be a remastering, and that's what's taking place right now, is you're being remastered. But what they're showing me very clearly is that you're being remastered so that you do not allow outsiders to come in and to basically put daggers in you. So you're basically, Spirit is creating this energy within you that will not be affected by outside influences moving forward. And because, think about that. Think about that. That's what he just said. Think about that. If you're an empath, if you're sensitive to other people, it is very hard to not care about an outside opinion, at all. And that's where he's trying to get you, is to where you don't care about an outside influence at all. For some of you, just me saying that is triggering. It's triggering to the point to where you're like, you know what, I don't even want to watch this no more. Some people are going to click off because they're like, I can't watch this. I'm not about to, no, because that's not even possible. But it is possible. It is possible. All things are possible. It's possible, but it's going to require that you put in the work. In order to be a healer, in order to be able to operate and see things the way that God desires for you to see things, you have to bypass this phase. And the reason why is because if you're influenced by outsiders, or if you're affected by outsiders, first of all, it's going to affect your energy. It's going to affect your ability to channel, because they're showing me loud and clear with this healer card here, something in regards to channeling. Like, I'm seeing the crown chakra being expanded. So that's what they're talking about when they say we're going to upgrade you in your entirety. That's what they're saying. Even your access to divine guidance is going to be upgraded. They're showing me the 10 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups. Yeah, your whole being is going to be upgraded. But you have to ground yourself. You could be seeing 222. That's coming through. I have 222 here. Definitely changing. This 32 breaks down to a 5. But it's bringing you into alignment. All of a sudden, my tooth started hurting like crazy. For most of you, this process is very painful. It's very painful, and it has been very painful. The process of trusting and believing in the unknown, the unfamiliar. It's almost like the story of Noah, Noah's Ark, where Noah was told by God to build a boat because it was going to rain, and they never knew what rain was. They'd never seen rain before. But Noah trusted. And when you trust, when you have faith, that's when God can move on your behalf. The toothache was to show how pain can be present for a moment, because now it's starting to go away. It's starting to dissipate. How pain is present for a moment and it's only temporary. It's not going to last forever. So there's something about this that is temporary, but it feels like it's going to last forever. And it's also like when the pain hits, it like takes over everything. It affects you so deeply that it causes you to not be able to be grounded. So it affects your ability to be grounded when you feel the pain. Now they're showing me like the 10 of Swords, 8 of Swords. I think this is 3 of Swords. Something that happened in the past. Some situation in the past made you feel unsafe. It uprooted you. So you haven't had any stability. And for some of you, it's been for a long time. You haven't felt stable and safe. Oh, but they're saying, but now you're safe. But you're having a hard time adapting and adjusting to that safetiness because you're concerned that these daggers, the 3 of Swords, are going to come in and do something to you. And so God is asking you to ground yourself. Ground yourself. Ground yourself. And another part of this is to stay humble, always remembering where you came from. In order for God to be saying that, this promotion must be ridiculous. This must be ridiculous. And too, that's so interesting because he had me grab my petrified wood, which is all about grounding. I'm going to get one of these. This is very interesting. I don't know where Spirit's taking us, but let's go. I'm down for the ride. I'm down for the ride, y'all. Something about connectedness. Connected to the cosmos. I don't even know what that means, guys, but whatever. There's some type of connection to the cosmos. I'm also seeing like ancient, like African roots here. Wow, the eagle. Wow, this is powerful. Oh my gosh. I'm going to get the guidebook on this, but look at this eagle. The higher vision, the higher perspective. Eagles have wisdom. I heard they have talons, but those are their claws. But I heard talents. But the way that God is showing me is that you have some type of power, like some type of a gift. That's how he was telling me. It's like, no, I'm saying talents, like a gift, not the talents that are they talons or talons? I don't know, but he's clearly saying talents like gifts. The swan. Wow. This is totally energy of like meant to be seen. There's some type of recognition. Recognition, rewards for your divinity. Huh? Okay. Recognition and rewards for your divinity. Something very divine about you. Something very powerful, dynamic, strong. With the eagle energy here and the swan at the bottom of the deck, this is the energy of someone who is powerful. But I don't know, because of how it feels to me is like maybe there's a recognition of your power. Maybe you're starting to see your power. Something about the throat chakra is coming through very strongly right now. My throat chakra is lit up. Something about the throat chakra, the way that you express yourself, you're shining in your divinity. Well, go on, girl. You better go on with your bad self. You've been through a war, though. Whoever this reading is for, you've been through a war. The eagles have to fight. They fight the wind consistently. But the eagles know that every hit, every wind, when the wind blows and it's ready to knock them, they know that they have to face that wind head on, because they know that with every hit that they take, it's not going to do anything but elevate them and promote them. And so when the eagles see the wind coming at them. This is the wind. The wind's coming at the eagle. The eagle does this head on, right at it, because it knows that it's going to be elevated. The wind elevates the eagle. And it's the same thing with you. That's what's happening. That's what this is. The pain that you've been sitting in is about to elevate you, but it's all a matter of how you look at it. So you got to change your vision, change your perspective. The gifts are in your divinity. The gifts are in your abilities. The gifts are in your talents. The healing is in your talents. Y'all, sometimes I don't even know what Spirit be telling me. The gifts are in your talents. The healing is in your talents. That's what I keep hearing. The healing is in your talents. Whatever it is that you're good at, that's where your healing is. So, okay. So for some of you, say for example, you cook. Say for example, you cater food for people, right? If you cook, you need to go out and cook in order to heal, because your healing, your divinity is in your talents. Your ability to overcome, your ability to conquer, your ability to be able to hit those wins and allow them to promote you, to take them take those hits. Like a boxer, you know how the boxers just get beat up and they just take the hits, and you're like, why are you standing there just getting hit, right? Like, I would be running, but it's like they take those blows and they take them because they've been trained for this. And this is the same thing with you. That's what God is saying. You've been trained for this. You've been training your whole life for this moment. This didn't just come your way. These events, this pain, this agony, this stress, this frustration, this irritation, these people who continue to do you wrong and to harm you, who you've never done anything negative to. You've been prepared to handle them graciously and gracefully. You've been prepared because of your divinity, and your healing is in your talents. All right, I don't know how many times I could say that, but the eagle is about all-pervading power, truth seeker, transforms karma. There ain't no way. I'm out of here. The reading is over, y'all. The reading is over. The healing is your talents. I gotta write this down because I'm gonna forget. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy. Transforms karma. This is also like giving me like alchemizing the shadow vibes, which, you know, I'm supposed to be doing like shadow readings on Fridays. You guys have to forgive me because I'm a Pisces, so I just be floating around. And I really try to do the readings when I'm like led. I don't want to just get on here and just, other than like my weeklies, I don't like to just get on and just feed fluff. I want to be intentional about doing what I feel God wants me to do rather than it being about anything else, you know? Like, this is not for views. Clearly, I don't even like get many, right? So it's not for views or anything. I'm on here because I want to help people with the knowledge and wisdom that I've gained. But transforming karma is recognizing that karma is only going to promote you. The noble eagle emanates the light of the sun. This great bird is both physically and spiritually strong and represents mastery over the elements of fire and air. Wow. When the eagle appears, you'll soon be thrown into the karmic fire for the sake of your transformation. The eagle pushes us to be our best and brightest selves and stops at nothing to see us shine. Grasp the sun in your talons. Oh, talons. See, yeah. I'm like, I always call it talons. It is talons. Grasp the sun in your talons and hold on for the ride. You are stronger than you think, you eagle child, you. I made that up, but when in balance is bright, radiant, challenges. Okay? When out of balance, it's controlling. To bring it into balance, step into the unknown. That's why your healing is in your talents. Because when you tap into your talents are going to provide some type of peace, some type of healing energy. There's something transformative about tapping into your talents that will allow you to release the need to control. That makes perfect sense too, because if you think about it, your talents are typically things that you enjoy doing, something creative, right? Something that would allow you to take your mind off of how come things haven't come the way that I want them to, you know? So that would make perfect sense. That would make perfect sense. This is powerful energy, like super powerful energy. Whew. I heard the best is yet to come. That's amazing. Ooh, Hygeia. All right, Aquarian energy at the bottom of the deck. So I forgot what this Hygeia is. I got this deck recently, and it's because I want to learn more about astrology, but clearly I be forgetting. I forget as soon as I read it. I'm like, oh, squirrel. Oh my gosh, let me read this. Stop playing around. Let me read this. The purifier. Healing, cleaning, hygiene, and medicine. The Hygeia is the purifier. And that's what's happening. That's what's happening in this transformative process. With the Aquarian energy, for some reason, they're showing me like, oh, he said that's the remastering. This is the technology, right? You know, Aquarian energy is all about technology, the advancement of something. It's about reinventing something, remastering something, making it new. Aquarians take things and transform them from like something stale to something very vibrant, eccentric, right? So this is about taking your, it has something to do with community too, because that keeps coming through. Taking the way that you view life and how you deal with yourself and people around you and transforming that, purifying that. This is healing. It's the medicine thing is always what I get reminded of when I see this too. You know, the little medicine snake on the stick, the staff. That's what this reminds me of. That always too, and this is coming through for a reason, reminds me of Moses. There's something about Moses here. Something about you having the ability to take something. Okay, thank you, Spirit. So just like Moses, you know, picked up a stick and he parted the Red Sea with that stick. It seemed like it was something that was very, like, just normal. And then he turned it into something magical, right? It went from being just a regular little stick you find when you walk outside in the park to being Harry Potter's wand. And that's exactly what God is doing in you right now. This is what the transformation is going to look like. You look very ordinary right now. To everybody around you, you look regular. You regular schmegular. Nothing special, nothing fancy about you. But what they don't, oh, thank you. You know what? Can't nobody tell me that God ain't real. Let me just tell you, nobody can convince me that God is not real. And let me show you this because there's double confirmation here. You look regular, but you're not. You're the swan. You're not regular. God is taking you, regular schmegular Betty Sue, and he's transforming you into this swan that will be seen in some way, shape, or form. I don't care what you say. You are to be seen in some way. This could mean at work, you're the boss. This could mean at work, you're the head chef. This could mean that you are a singer. This could mean that you're a dancer. This could mean you're a rapper. This could mean a lot of stuff. Dancer. You could be a lot of stuff. A salesman of some sort. There's something here where you are supposed to shine. And so this purification process, this process of remastering, is to help you to rise into your divinity and accept yourself at face value. This is, both of these cards are Leo energy. The fifth house is Leo energy. This is born to shine, destined to shine. Wow. But there first has to be an unconventional transformation that occurs within you with this Aquarian energy. And it has to not look the same way that everybody else's transformation looks or looked. That's why to whom much is given, much is required is what's being said right now. I was just going to say that's why it's so challenging for you. That's why whatever you're feeling is so intense, is because you're not like everybody else. You're not like everybody else. You're not meant to live a life like everybody else. And I'm not saying, this is going to sound crazy how I say this, it's going to sound rude, I'm sure. You're not meant to live a basic life. And it's not to say that there's anything wrong with people living basic lives, but you're not meant for that. You're not meant to just have like a regular little house on the corner. Like, that's not what God created you for. If you're watching this, I'm sorry. You're not created to live a regular life. You know, and what I'm picking up on is, well, you know, I've told my son that. My son has a crazy calling on his life. And I don't even know fully what it is. But I've told him over the years, you're not like everybody else. You're not meant to just be regular. And that's what God is saying in this. He's showing me talking to my son. You're not meant to be regular. You're meant to stand out. There's something about you that is very loving and very endearing. And also, too, what's being brought to my attention is your wounds are meant to produce and be fertile for you to be able to support and share that compassion with others. So some of you may feel so beaten down by this transformation process that you could feel like you are hidden and like maybe you want to hide with this hidden energy, right? But you're gaining wisdom. You're uncovering spiritual ancestral wisdom that has been hidden and kept in the dark and stored up and waiting for you. You're collecting information that was supposed to be known before. It's almost as if there's this, like, especially, thank you, Spirit, there's this new way of things being done through you. Like, there's something very, very much like, this is very loud. For whoever's watching this, you have something very unique that you bring to the table. So I don't care if there's 3 million people who do what you do. There's something very unique about the way that you do it. Could be the level of compassion. Aquarian energy is different. So think about somebody doing something and then think about somebody doing it completely different than them. But you're like, wow, it's originality at its finest, okay? So think about somebody like your favorite song and imagine somebody remastering that song and you're like, wow, this is the best that version of that song has ever been sung, right? That's this energy. So there's something that you do that other people do too. Maybe a lot of other people do it. But nobody does it in the same way as you. That's why the eagle is here. You stand out. There's something about you that stands out. And they keep showing me the eye. There's something about you that's separated and unique. It's different. It's different. And I think that you've been hiding yourself because of your wounds. Because your wounds make you feel like you're unworthy or like nobody wants to hear what I have to say. People are not going to listen to me. But you don't realize that your wounds are where your fertility is. With the rabbit here, this is saying that your wounds will produce endless possibilities for you. Endless possibilities. But it's going to take you doing like this eagle and hitting that wind hard, accepting those challenges head on and saying, I'm not going to succumb to these challenges. I'm going to rise above them. I'm not going to let that wind knock me down. If that eagle doesn't go head out the wind, if he's not willing to face that wind head on, then the eagle is going to demote. He's going to drop down. He's going to lower. But if he faces the wind head on and charges at it with the same intensity, then it's going to go and he's going to elevate. So you have the same options as this eagle, my friend. You can either take the hit like a G and let it elevate you, or you can take the hit and drop. And I don't know why I use the word demote. I guess that's very valid though, because you can either be promoted or you can be demoted, and you get to choose. This is beautiful. There's so much purple energy here. I am feeling very much like some type of spiritual royalty from this energy. It feels like you absolutely were selected for this role, for this position. And I think it's just a matter of you coming out of this energy of, you know, like sitting in the energy of having to fight. Because I'm hearing like all my life I had to fight. You know, like it feels like you absolutely have been like sitting in that energy, but you're coming out of it. But it's all a matter of how you let the wind hit you. It's all a matter of how the wind hits you. The bottom deck energy is Adam, dark divine father of creation. Wow, this is almost giving me like sun energy. It also feels very Taurian in nature. It feels very grounded, which that's taking me back to the grounding energy there. Like grounding yourself with truth and clarity. Also something here about royalty, about you being, you know, like a royal priesthood and being deserving of the gifts that God wants to give to you. It feels like, did I say this earlier? It feels like an inheritance, because that's coming through again. Something about an inheritance. With the Black Moon, Lilith, and Sag with free yourself, this is about expansion. This is about expansion. You've been in the dark long enough. You've been in the haze, and it's time for you to pivot forward, is what I heard. But it's all about perception. This is all about perception, guys. Spirit is making that loud and clear. This is all about your perception. And with that eagle at the center here, he keeps taking me back to that. How that eagle is going to either go at that wind head on and say, I'm coming for you. Wow, I can't make this up. I swear I can't. If I wanted to, I couldn't. I can't. Oh my God, I just am amazed every single time. Yeah, it's all a matter of how you see this, how you view this. Look, the journey card's at the bottom of the deck. I love this card. This is the Aboriginal Spirit deck, and it's new for me, so I will read the card on that leadership. I mean, I'll read the book on the leadership card. But look at this here. I've seen this card a couple of times, and I'm amazed by it. I'll tell you why, because it's like a death and a resurrection. It's almost like every time I look at it, it looks to me like this individual has to go to the burial to be resurrected into the best version of themselves. And this is a long journey. Imagine like swimming across the ocean to get to this place where you know that you're going to have a spiritual death. That's a journey in itself. And then when you get here, so getting here, accepting that I have to go here so that I can have a spiritual death. And then when you get here, you have to go through the process and the journey of the spiritual death, which is where you're at right now. You're on this little island going through a spiritual death, a spiritual transformation. The remastering is occurring within you right now. And it's so that you can be free to expand. This is Jupiter energy here. Abundance, luck, expansion, prosperity, right? This is that energy. So God is trying to swiftly get you there too. This is quick. So this is like I'm hearing this is a quickening. It's a quickening within you. So things are happening super fast, which also increases the intensity. It increases how intense it feels, how harsh it feels, and how challenging it feels, which makes it tougher to be able to endure and to push through. But it's all a matter of how you see the journey. Because you could look at the journey like I described it earlier, or you could look at the journey in steps, and you could embrace the beauty of the ocean on your way to this island. You could bask in the fact that you're blessed to be able to experience such amazing opportunities that others don't have, to expand, grow. Because if you look at the journey, instead of going from here to here to here, you could look at the destination. right? That's what Spirit is saying. Focus on the destination. Focus on where you're going. That's crazy because I was just talking to my mom about this on the way home from church. But focus on where you're going, who you're becoming, and not the long, tedious, rough, harsh journey. It reminds me of, like, when we were younger, parents used to say, oh, I had to walk 20 miles to school in the snow. I didn't have a ride to school. I didn't get on the bus, right? It reminds me of that. Because on your journey, look at, these are the same figures. On the journey, you see, you turn into this transformed individual. And then you transition from that into these leadership roles, to where opportunities are to thrive and to flourish are all around you. Where you're needing to multiply. Okay, I love it. Spirit's showing me the rabbit, back to the rabbit energy, where your wounds are your prosperity. They're your abundance, right? That's where you'll be fruitful in your wounds, or with your wounds, using the healing energy of your wounds. However you've healed from your wounds. Okay, let's take this back, because I'm seeing like steps. So to start, your healing is in your talents. Now your talents are going to produce fruitfulness, right? There's abundance with the rabbit energy. Fertility, your talents will produce fertility for you. I'm trying to figure out how to explain this and make sense with correct words. And it's kind of late, so forgive me. Okay, so from there, your talents will produce, basically your talents will be fruitful for you. And with that, you will have multiple leadership opportunities that come your way that allow you to expand and grow into more. These are like different opportunities coming in. So it's one of you, but you're a leader who's able to tap into several avenues because you've alchemized and mastered how to heal with these wounds, or heal with these wounds. Okay, I guess that was meant to be said. All right, let's look at the leadership card. I want to read this because it sounds like I'm drunk, and I'm not. I didn't even have any alcohol. For some of you, you're probably feeling this way too, which is probably why I'm feeling this. Just exhausted. I was perfectly fine. I had a ton of energy. Before I started this reading, and then I don't know if you noticed, but like it was almost as if my words started to slur, started to talk slower. That's how it feels to me. I'm going to take a second and recollect my energy, and I'm going to come back before I read that leadership card because I really want us to get through this reading. It seems like it's powerful. All right, guys, I'm back. So this is day 2. I actually went to bed and I couldn't do it yesterday. It was just a lot. The energy was a lot. Again, I do think that this is what most of you are feeling, and that's why Spirit's allowing me to actually be present with the energy, which I'm grateful for. But we were going over the leadership card, and I was going to read it. So I've already meditated, prayed, and asked Spirit to tap me back into this reading, and I've already been getting downloads. So let's just jump right in. The leadership card, and I'll put it up in case you want to take a picture. There is someone around you that is representing themselves as an authority. This person does not lead by example and is always filled with excuses as to why they are unable to act honorably in certain situations. Your intuition of late has been telling you this person is not honorable. Yet you have struggled to have your own opinion of them because of their ability to charm and fool others around you. Once you stand up and walk away from this disruptive influence, others will follow quickly behind you and support your actions. This situation will give you the confidence in the future to look closer at people who pretend to represent themselves as something they are not, and will in turn alleviate much confusion and stress in your life. Wow, this is awesome. Okay, so I wasn't expecting it to say that, but I think it's so profound how Spirit just gave me like the message through that. So this is bringing others into the situation because you haven't been able to see yourself in the light that you should. Like, I don't know if I mentioned that in this reading, but I've mentioned it before in other readings. For most of you watching, you would rather think that other people are more important than yourselves, right? It's the energy of, hey, you're here, go ahead and go, you can go in front of me, like I don't have anything to do, I'm not in a hurry or a rush. But what's happened is people have taken advantage of you, and because of that they've dimmed your lights. Spirit is showing me the chicken and the eagle analogy, that eagles don't hang around chickens because they know, the eagles know their value, they know their worth, they know that they don't belong on the ground with something that can easily be replaced. And a lot of us have done that to ourselves. We are eagles, but we act like chickens. And it has something to do with this hidden energy here. There's some fears around being seen. There are some fears around putting ourselves out there. And I really believe that this is exactly what Spirit was saying last night. Those fears are around the wounds that we carry. It's like we've taken on the wounds as if these wounds are burdens, taken the wounds on as if they're injuries, right? Afflictions. It's almost like, you know, in the Bible, how they talk about leprosy and everybody's like, oh God, you have leprosy, you're the worst thing ever. That's how we feel about our wounds. And that's why Spirit keeps telling us that your healing is in your talents. Those wounds that you have are now talents. They're now gifts that have been given to you. They're opportunities that have been afforded to you so that you can process and proceed through this journey of massive transformation, transmutation, and so that you can go out and assist and support others to be able to heal. If you're a healer, you have to have wounds. If you're going to help others, you have to have something to be able to support and assist them with. And it feels very painful in the moment. And some of you, I'm hearing, are saying, I don't even care about helping others. Well, what about your children? If you don't have children, what about your family members? What about your siblings? What about your parents? It doesn't mean that you necessarily have to be like a massive healer where you have to go on YouTube, start a channel, or go out in the community and start working with people. The energy is very draining again. I'm feeling that draining energy again. I was actually talking to my mom about this reading earlier, and I started to feel this energy again. So there's something very draining about your wounds. Your wounds have been draining you. Your wounds are why you have no motivation, no inspiration, no hope. Your wounds are the reason why you're not inspired, why you're having a hard time believing that whatever it is that you're trying to manifest will actually come. It's why you don't believe. It's because of your wounds and the way that you view them. It's the perspective that you have. You're looking at your wounds as if your wounds are trash, and actually the wounds are treasure. They're treasures. There's something about that. We'll dig deeper. I think this has a lot to do too with like not balancing out your masculine energy. So remember, all of us have masculine and feminine energies between us, or within us, not between us, but in us we have both masculine and feminine energies. And the masculine and feminine energies have to be balanced. If you're operating too much in your masculine, you're doing too much. You're like, everything has to be a job. I have to work in order to be able to earn something. I have to do something to gain something. So for you, you may feel like, or you may have an expectation or an idea of what healing looks like. You may have been told by others that in order for you to heal, you need to look like this, 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 and that. And the reality of that is that that's a lie. Your healing is dependent upon you and how you react and respond to things that once caused you harm and pain. But the amazing thing is, we have a full moon in Capricorn on the 10th, July 10th. I think that's Thursday. This video will come out before then, so you'll have time if you watch this. that's the opportunity to be able to release all this. So start setting your intentions now, you know, kind of demanding to God that I'm not taking this energy with me past July 10th. Past July 11th. So when I wake up on July 11th, none of this past energy can come with me. And you can even do like a full moon, like ceremony, ritual, whatever you want to call it, where nothing like demonic or crazy, guys, nothing like that. I don't participate in anything like that. I'm all about the Lord over here. But I'm just putting that out there because I was just like hearing somebody like a ritual. Like, no, it's not a ritual in a negative sense. We take these words and we turn them into something tainted, and it's like we don't even know what they're actually for. But anyways, you could do like a full moon ritual. So basically you would just write down, and you can look people up on YouTube. They'll tell you how to do this stuff too. But you could basically take a piece of paper, write down everything you want to release. Do this on the 10th, okay? The heightened time, or the time where it's most like, I guess the heightened time, I guess is what you could call it. Like the fullest point of, the point when it's the fullest, I guess you could say. I don't know how to explain this or say it, but the time would be 1:37, and that's Pacific Standard Time. So that would be like Los Angeles, California, in the United States of America, that timing. Okay, so you can put that in your like there's like a time zone calculator. You could put that in your time zone and figure out what time that would be for you. But it's 1:37 p.m. 1:37 in the afternoon, Pacific Standard Time at July 10th. You don't have to do it right at that time, but anytime around 1:37 p.m. is when the moon is going to be the fullest. It's at its highest potential. So what I would suggest is just sometime on July 10th, whenever you have a moment. Like I said, it doesn't have to be at 1:37 p.m., but if you have time to do it then do it then. But everything that you wrote down, you could even write it down on that day, but everything that you wrote down, you want to read over it out loud to yourself, expressing, God, these things are the things that I'm expecting to be released on today. I'm not taking this stuff with me tomorrow. Okay, so write it out, and then get like a candle or something that you can use to burn the paper, or you can get a lighter. I don't want to tell you how I do it because it's probably a little dangerous, but I do it and it works for me, and it contains everything, and I end up with ashes afterwards that I then take and dump back into the earth, because I'm giving them back to the earth to be able to take them and pour them wherever God sees fit. This is just the way my mind works. Okay, anyway, so so write down everything you want to release by the end of the full moon, and read it out loud, expressing to God that I'm releasing these things. The anticipation or expectation is that my spirit guides, ancestors, Jesus Christ, the Holy Spirit will support me in this, right? And then burn it however you see fit. Make sure you have a bowl of water close by, please, because I don't want anybody burning up their house and saying Tori told me to do this. Okay, no, please make sure you're safe. Have a bowl of water close by in case something lights on fire too much. I usually like fold the piece of paper up into like a smaller piece, and then I'll put it in something that I use to burn it off. I burn it off, and then like I said, once it's all the way burnt, while it's burning, I'm thanking God for releasing these things in my life. I'm saying, thank you, Lord, for allowing these things to be released. Thank you that I will not have nightmares. I will not wake up in the middle of the night with this on my mind. I will not walk into tomorrow with this, bothering me, with being affected, offended, saddened, or heartbroken over things that I cannot change. And then afterwards, again, I take the ashes that I end up with, and I pour water on them. Water is to cleanse the energy. And then I take that in my little container that I use, and I dump that outside, and I try to dump it in grass, bushes, something green that has life, so that the energy is dispelled at that point. And then the energy of the life that they have gone into, I feel like that's what's returned to me, is something green, alive. And it's the way that my mind works. I have watched other people do rituals, full moon rituals, but I just found that this is the best thing for me. And I actually do the same thing when I'm doing a new moon ritual. I do the same thing, but on new moons, I write down the things that I desire. What do I want? My new beginnings, okay? Because new moons are about beginnings. Full moons are about releasing. So anyhow, I hope that gave you information. I didn't know this was going to turn into that, and I don't even think I'm an expert to even share that with you, but I just wanted to tell you what I do, and it works for me, and I appreciate it. And all right, moving on. Something about releasing, though, and setting the intention, but then not taking it with you into the next day. And also, I want to go back to this here because Spirit is bringing this leadership card up. A part of this journey, a part of this lesson, and the reason why it may feel like there's a little bit of a standstill in it right now, or you may feel like you're having a really difficult time about this, or trying to get over this, or trying to deal with this, is because it does involve other people. There's a lot of people pleasing that's coming up right now. Spirit is bringing me back to that. So there's some people pleasing tendencies that most of you, all of you watching, probably have, and it's halted you from being able to be seen. It's almost as if you've been giving your position over to, like, it feels like very demonic entities without knowing it, right? Okay, so for example, you know, in the Bible, Jezebel is a big character, one of the main characters. Well, Jezebel disguises themselves as people, but you don't know what Jezebel is. Jezebel is not a male or a female. I've actually seen Jezebel like in like visions, dreams, and Jezebel for me does not identify as a male or a female according to like our standards, right? It's non-identifiable is the best way to explain what Jezebel looks like when you see Jezebel. But sometimes Jezebel or any other spirit, demonic spirit or entity can be imprinted in a human being. And we don't typically see that until we step back. And there are people who have been in your lives who have been this Jezebelian type energy. And the reason why I'm using Jezebel is because Jezebel's like second in command to Satan himself. And the Jezebel spirit has a goal to destroy the man and woman of God. So if you believe in God in any form, fashion, shape, Jezebel wants to destroy you, and it's to knock you off of your mantle. And so this is coming up for a reason. I don't know why, but some of you have been affected by a Jezebelian spirit. Now, Jezebel can come in various forms, but mostly Jezebel comes in by way of schmexual matters. Okay, so that would mean people being enticed or tempting you constantly in a way that is very schmexual, and they want nothing else from you, you know, like the booty call type situations, or the here for a short time, not for a long time, that Knight of Wands energy, someone who makes you promises but never actually keeps them, things like that, right? It's a very manipulative, conniving type energy that very easily manipulates people into believing that they are something that they're not. And there's some type of truth and clarity that you need to recognize in regards to your circle, who you thought was your circle, or people surrounding you, people who you've trusted, people who you've surrendered your heart to, really is what Spirit is showing me in this. This is almost now, he's showing me like this is Judgment Day. You're being called to recognize and accept and see people for what they've had to offer you, truly, by taking those rose-colored glasses off. And what I'm hearing is that for a lot of you, the challenge with that is that would mean that you have to look at yourselves. And that would mean that you would have to forgive yourselves or recognize your foolishness in seeing these people for the way that they are. And the foolishness was coming from the way that you are saying and talking to yourself is what Spirit is telling me. Because Spirit's not calling you a fool, and neither am I. And actually, I have had to experience this, and I still do experience this. And I pray consistently against this type of spirit and this energy. So you should never feel like a fool for not seeing someone's heart. You should never feel like a fool for being optimistic and believing in hope, for believing in love, for believing that people are not malicious, that people do not lie. Like, you're never a fool for hoping, for showing compassion towards people, for believing that someone could change, for giving people second, third, 10, 20, 50th chances. You should never, ever, ever feel like a fool. And if you're telling yourself that you are a fool, then you're not showing compassion to yourself, meaning you're giving those other people more love and support than you're giving yourself. And so Spirit is bringing this to our attention so that we recognize that there's no way that the eagle is going to speak harshly to themselves. Because the Spirit, oh, wait a second, that was about to, because the eagle recognizes his spirit. And because Spirit is connected to the eagle knows its own divinity. The eagle does not challenge who they are because they know and they stand firm in that. Therefore, it makes the eagle's journey a lot easier, a lot smoother, because the eagle is able to recognize the beauty on the way to the transformation, the death. Remember, we were talking about this being like a tombstone. It's like the death process. The ego understands that. The eagle embraces that. Wow, did you guys hear that? The ego is what I said, and not the eagle. There's something about an ego. Your ego can prevent you from wanting to see people for who they truly are, because again, that would mean that you would have to look at yourself for who you truly are. Oftentimes we can be easily offended by the truth of ourselves. And so because we have a hard time looking at the truth of ourselves, it makes it even harder to look at the truth in other people. But the reality of it is a part of this journey is seeing your flaws, seeing your challenges, seeing the concerns of who you are, but recognizing that you're rising above those things. If you don't have anything wrong with you, then there's no elevation for you. There's no promotion, because you don't need any help. You've already arrived. There's also no journey. There's no purification. You don't need medicine. You don't need a community. You don't need a collective. You don't need God. You don't need support. If you've already got it all together, then you wouldn't need a partner. You wouldn't be asking God to help you to manifest the love of your life. So there has to be some type of death of the ego in order for this journey of resurrection to occur. And the death of the ego, in my opinion, is simply surrendering. And that's not simple, guys. But it's surrendering. I'm learning that the art of surrender is the best way to kill the ego. So what that looks like is softening up. How can I explain that to them? A pillow. Okay. All right, Spirit, let's go. So what he's showing me is when you first buy a new pillow, you know how it's hard? It takes a little time for you to soften it up for it to actually become comfortable. So that's some of you right now. You're a little hard, a little rough around the edges. It's rightfully so. Spirit is saying it is rightfully so. There is no judgment. The hard, rough, tough parts of you right now need to soften up. And the way to do that is to relax into it. Wow, that's beautiful, Spirit. That is beautiful. Relax into trust. Relax into submission. Relax into divinity. And when I say that word submission, I can hear some of you going, like you just hate the word. But the reality of the word submission is honoring Spirit in your life, honoring the fact that you need help. Surrendering is submission, because when you surrender, you recognize that you can't do these things apart from Spirit. And it's not in the way that we were taught in church where you give everything over, because guess what? If you give everything over, you ain't going to get nowhere. If you sitting around waiting for God to change something for you, good luck. That's not going to happen, because that's not divinity. That's not the divinity of God. God says we were made in his image. We were made in his image, meaning we can make decisions. He gave us what we need to make decisions on our own. I was just telling my mom this, that so many people go to church for so many years, and I'm guilty of this, totally guilty, told her that. We go to church for so many years waiting for God to do something for us. And really, God is sitting back like, no, I'm waiting for you to figure out how powerful you are because you were made in my image and because I gave you the Holy Spirit, which is the power of God in action. You have everything you need to thrive and obtain everything that you desire in life. But do you believe that you're deserving of it? Have you aligned yourself with it? And here goes a big one. Have you become it? Whatever it is that you desire, before you can get it, you have to first become it. If you want a brand new, huge house, become that. Become that. Your house that you currently live in, your apartment that you currently live in, take care of it as if it's this big, grandiose house that you want. And imagine it. Imagine being in it when you're walking through your apartment. Say, for example, you want a 4-bedroom house, 2-story. When you're walking through your 1-bedroom apartment, start to see and visualize yourself in this 4-bedroom house. Like, wow, okay, I can take this bookshelf and I'm going to put this in the spare bedroom. It doesn't need to be in my room because guess what? I have more than enough space. When you're crammed in the kitchen and you're like, oh, I can't wait to have a bigger space. Start manifesting that. Oh my gosh, thank you, God, for this huge house that I have. Thank you for more than enough space. Wow, it feels so nice to not have to stress about being crammed in this little bitty space. When you're asking God to give you a spouse, a lot of people want a rich man. A lot of people want a rich man, but a lot of people aren't in alignment with that. If this rich man has to go out and work all day so that he can be rich, are you going to be able to support the household when he's gone? Are you going to be able to be loyal when he's gone? Are you going to have something to do with yourself while he's gone? Or are you going to be needy, demanding, requiring that he sits under you all day? Do you have something going for yourself? Do you have creative projects and things that you can tap into? Do you have a job? Like, what do you bring to the table? And when I say bring to the table, how are you aligning with that which you're asking for? That's what Spirit is saying. How do you align with that? What do you look like on the inside? Because that rich man, he's confident. That rich man, he doesn't care about what other people are saying or doing. That rich man, more than likely, he's not going to tolerate these lower vibrational people. That rich man, he's not going to be okay with you hiding behind these wounds, hiding behind this hair, hiding behind the clothing. Whatever it is for you, right? It could be hiding behind food. Shoot, I want to hide behind food most of the time. So whatever it is for you, whatever your vice is, he's not going to be okay with you hiding behind that because he needs your confidence to match his. So I don't know why I'm going into this, but a part of manifestation is to become what you desire. That is alignment. And that's how you manifest. Noah, for example, prime example, when we were talking about this last night in this reading too, I believe, God told Noah to go and build an ark. Noah is like, he said, because it's going to rain. And Noah's like, rain? What is rain? I've never even heard of rain. Noah had to align himself with that in order for that to come. So what Noah did was he started building that ark. And then after he got that ark built, he became that which he desired to please the Lord. So he was willing to do whatever God said. So he aligned himself with that by building the ark, aligned with God. Now God says, here you go. Bam, here goes some rain. And guess what? Your family is protected. So Noah's goal was to please God and to keep his family safe. And he was willing to believe the craziest thing of building a freaking boat to keep all these animals and his family safe, never knowing what rain was, but trusted the process. But in the process, during the journey, his journey was aligning him to his highest self, to the best version of himself, to that which he wanted to manifest, which was protection for his family. So if you want to manifest something, you have to be able to put in the work, go through this crazy, tedious journey of life to align with that which you desire. You have to become it. Become it. Become that confidence. Become that $1 million. I don't care if you're walking out of a hut. Become that. Walk in the confidence of the Lord. Know whose you are. Know the divinity of you. Know that you are love. When God says we're made in his image, we are love. Love is you. So pour that love into you. All it is the love of God, like recycling through you. And then at some point when you align and become that which you desire, if it's a spouse, then that spouse is naturally going to be drawn to you. God is showing me a moth, like a moth to a flame. The love of your life will be drawn to you because they will feel the vibration of you. Energy is frequency. They're made in God's image too. They're going to be drawn. They're going to be sucked in. It's like a vortex. They won't have a choice but to come to you. When you stand out like the eagle, no one can miss you. There's not a person in the world that misses an eagle flying overhead. And if you don't see bald eagles very often, you see one of those, man, that's like a miracle. Because their energy is huge. Because they're so aligned with spirit. So for you, whatever it is that you want to manifest, become it. Put in the work. Go through the journey. And in the process, you're going to see that, oh, these people, I've been looking at them all wrong. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. No judgment. But I need to free myself from this. I need to free myself from them. And I need to allow myself to walk in the divinity that I am. Let me stop talking because I'm going to turn this into a 5-hour reading and I don't even know why Spirit's just downloading and I'm just going with the flow. This Rainbow Wings card is giving me the energy of like raising your vibration, but it's the vibration of your heart. So that's something that's happening on this journey too, is the vibration of your heart is being elevated. And there is no greater vibration than that of love. I hear people talk about this all the time. I've not even looked into it or done any research on it, but they talk about like different frequencies and how you can get to like a certain level. And the highest frequency is love, which that is God. That is divinity, the divine himself, right? In order to align with that, you have to raise your vibration by being willing to put up with this journey, by fighting through this journey. And what you'll accept is that at some point that this here is my destination. This here is my destination. So it doesn't matter what happens along the way. I don't care what people are saying. I'm willing to give up anything that stands in the way of me reaching here, right? Anything that makes me feel like I'm a chicken instead of an eagle, I'm getting rid of it. Even if it's myself. Because we can talk about other people, but I always say this on the channel, the reason why I try to avoid talking about other people is because everything is about us. It's never about anybody else. And I'll tell you that that was one of the biggest mistakes that I made in my life. And I probably spent 41 years, at least, making everything about everybody else. I would tell my mom, my sister, it ain't me, it's them, everybody. Everything in every situation, it was everybody else, never me. Tori didn't do anything wrong. Nothing wrong. It's 3:11 on the clock now. That may be significant for you. You can look up the angel number. But I did nothing wrong, guys, for years. Believe it or not, right? It's like, how do you never do anything wrong? But that's literally what I thought. I thought everything was everybody else's fault because I felt like the way that I was raised, what I was taught, and the way that I looked at things, my perspective was the best perspective ever. Like, oh my God, how could you possibly not think that I'm right? And then I realized, you know what? I am actually a sugar honey iced tea show. I'm a hot mess. This whole time, I thought I had it figured out. I thought I had it together. I thought it was them and not me. If they didn't do that to me, then I would never feel like this. If they didn't do that, then I wouldn't be in this position. If they didn't do that, then I wouldn't have to deal with the hate and the anger and the frustration and the irritation. I wouldn't be upset with life and I wouldn't hate people, blah, blah, blah. All of that, guys, I've gone through it all. And what I realized was no. All they did was triggered what was already present. So how could it be them? All right, for example, this is how God showed me that. This is how God showed me that. So when somebody cheats that was a cheater before they met you, is that your fault that they cheated on you? So say, for example, you meet this person. You meet them, you date them for a year, they start cheating. They were a cheater before you. In previous relationships, they always just cheated, did whatever they want to do. But they got with you for a year, started cheating. Are you the problem that they're a cheater? No. Heck no. You can't be the reason why they're a cheater. They were already a cheater. So it's the same thing here. The people around you can trigger you, but you're triggered so that you can heal. You're triggered where you're hurt. Wherever you're triggered, there's hurt there that needs to be healed. And instead of looking at it as being something negative, instead of looking at those wounds as if they should be covered, hidden, if you should be in constant sorrow because you have them sitting in a woe is me state, instead of that, it's better to look at it as an opportunity. Oh, wow, you know what? That hurt my feelings. That hurt my feelings because I have something that needs to be healed there. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to see something in me that I didn't see before you mentioned that to me. So thank you. Thank you. And then giving that wound, whatever that hurt is, giving it attention, tending to it, pouring into it, loving it, filling it with the love and light of God, softening it. That's that pillow analogy, softening it. So the hardness comes from a lack of seeing your wounds, a lack of acknowledging your wounds, a lack of wanting to touch those wounds. Because of course they're painful, right? Nobody wants to touch these wounds. However, if you're willing to deal with the hardness temporarily, knowing that the more you touch those wounds on that pillow, it's going to soften. The more nights you sleep with your sorrows, not sleep with them per se, but if it's a pillow, right? The more time you spend with those wounds, the pillow will soften. The pillow will soften, and that's how you tap into your divinity. That's how you free yourself, and that's how you embrace the journey. That's how you become the eagle, because as soon as the wound appears, you see the hurt, you feel it, you're like, oh, I was offended. How dare them say something like that to me? Oh, who you are thinking you're checking me? As soon as you feel that, or oh, the disrespect, as soon as those things come up, oh, that's a wound. Wait, that's a wound. Now I'm turning into the eagle. All right, let's go. That wound is the wind. I'm the eagle. I'm ready to face it head on. Let's go. Because I know that if I face you head on, nothing's going to happen to me but promotion. Whoop, up, elevated. And every time you do that, you're stepping up a notch, aligning with what you want, becoming what you want. All right, Spirit is so dope. I could drop the mic, y'all. I could drop the mic. All right. Whew. I told you guys yesterday I drink water. I hope you're drinking water today. Whew. Thank you, Lord. If you don't have a rose quartz, I would highly recommend that you get one. So this is a rose quartz. My mom and I were in a store earlier, and I was walking down the aisle. I saw this. I touched it, and I got electrocuted, guys. Like a shock. Not like electrocuted like that. Not with electricity, but I got shocked. That's what I should say. I'm just so dramatic. I got shocked, and I was like, oh! And I was like, clearly this is meant for me, right? It shocked me, literally. So get a rose quartz. If you really want to use your crystals and kind of activate the energy, you can sleep with them underneath your pillow. Now, I'm not sleeping with that big old thing underneath my pillow, but you can if you're comfortable. If you have a pillow that's hard, then you can sleep with that under your pillow until it softens. All right. Rainbow wings. A rainbow is the aura of an angel's wings, which shines even in the midst of storms. Oh, beautiful. It lifts the spirit and gives us hope. Rainbows shine light into our hearts. Awaken the child within you and remind yourself of the beautiful and simple things in life. By guiding you to this card, the angels are confirming that you are on the right path. They ask you to keep focused on your dreams and to honor your inner child by doing more of that which brings joy to your life. Even though you may be experiencing some setbacks, you are urged to continue to follow your heart. Do not give up hope, for all will soon fall into place. Oh, I love it. I love it. Draw a picture of a rainbow and pin it to your wall. Imagine yourself protected and guided by your rainbow. Ask your angels to light your path and guide you in all you do. Sit quietly and imagine yourself surrounded and infused with the beautiful healing colors of your rainbow. Its healing vibrations will inspire you to pursue your dreams. I love this, guys, because I love rainbows. And rainbows are significant because in the Bible, talking about Noah, don't you just love how God aligns things, right? So when it was clear for Noah and his family to come out, the rainbow came out. And the rainbow was a promise to Noah that God would never flood the earth again and destroy it. Okay? So it's an ode to the promises of God. I guess I could say it like that. I'm like, does that make sense? I think so. But basically it's I don't know why, let me just say this. I don't know why when I'm channeling, I get these like big words that I don't know what they mean, like, or if I'm using them in the right context. And I'm like, God, why are you telling me that? Like, just let me speak like a human, okay? Make it make sense for me and everybody else. But I guess the way that Spirit wants to explain it, it must make sense. It must make sense. I don't know. All right, let's get 3 cards only is what Spirit said here. I love this energy. It feels like it's clearing up already. I hope that each of you are feeling this. I'm going to do my sound bowl when we get done, guys. So if you want to stay tuned for that, we can. But let's just get 3 cards to close this reading out. Ooh, I love this. I love this. Whoa, 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 whoa. Wow. Wow. I love this. I love this. I love this. Wow, there's 2 messages coming through with this King of Cups, guys. Ooh, okay. The bottom deck energy is the 4 of Cups. I'm doing that because the messages that are coming through. Interesting. I'm gonna do this last. I'm gonna do this last because Spirit has got a message in that. So this is the 5 of Cups. This is about being sad and disappointed in past experiences and events. Feeling like things have never worked out in your favor. Feeling like, things just don't ever seem to go right for you in life. It's often referred to as crying over spilled milk. The interesting thing here is that Spirit is showing that there have been others who have constantly made you feel like you weren't enough. Their actions have caused you to feel as if you were inadequate. Their actions could have made you feel isolated, abandoned, feelings of like, oh, it's all about, I have to take care of myself. It's all about them and not you. That's what I'm picking up on. It feels very much like the energy of someone who has constantly bashed you, but they're showing me this as multiple people constantly trying to make you feel inadequate. And I don't want to use the word make and made because it's almost as if they inadvertently, like they did this. Spirit is reminding me of like the Jezebelian energy, how that's an energy and not necessarily a person. So that spirit of Jezebel has been prevalent in a lot of people in your life. And it was intentional. It was intentional because you are called to be a healer. It's intentional because you're called to rise, to elevate, and to support those who also need healing. Okay, so this was very much intentional, and this played a heavy role, and it placed a heavy burden on your emotions For a lot of you, I'm sensing super, super, super emotional unavailability, lacking emotional intelligence. There's lots of slandering, lots of condemning. It's almost as if they did this behind your back. Okay, that's how Spirit's showing it to me. Like these people did this behind your back. You thought that they were on your team. You didn't see that they were malicious, conniving against you. You didn't see that they were of the enemy's camp. You thought they were on your team. You could have even thought that they were a part of your tribe, that they were a part of your community. Maybe you went to church together, or you had some type of common, spiritual practices. But I'm seeing that they were constantly behind your back, discarding you, putting you down, and treating you as if you were less than. This was all a part of the mission to diminish and shrink you down so that you would go into fear, which those emotions led to several fears is what I'm hearing, okay? So the emotional manipulation that you've endured from previous situations. This could be a family member, because I'm seeing like a mother here. It could have been a grandmother. It could have been a parental figure of any kind. It could have been a spouse. Could have been kids. Whoever the individuals were, they made you feel inadequate. Their actions made you feel inadequate, as if you were never enough. What Spirit is saying is that there's truth that's coming to you, even through this reading. It's almost as if you've been malnourished emotionally, spiritually, emotionally malnourished. Like they starved you, like energy vampires type energy is what I'm picking up on. It feels like something was zapped out of you. Your life force is what I'm hearing. So your life was zapped out of you, and Spirit is turning the light on. Spirit is feeding you, pouring into you, giving that life back to you. And it's not necessarily occurring like right this second for you. If you're still challenged by this journey, then you probably don't feel enlightened and like you're being fed, okay? Because it's almost like Spirit showing me that he's having to spoon feed you back to health. And that's why this journey feels so challenging, because he's spoon feeding you back to health. But the amazing thing about this is when you come back to yourself, you're on your way there. If you're not already there, you're on your way there. Because right now you're showing up with this King of Cups energy. So if you're not already here, you're on your way. This King of Cups energy is one who is very emotionally intelligent. He's balanced. He's stable with his emotions. He also is fully aware of how to protect his emotions. He protects his spouse's emotions, and he also protects his energy as well as his children, the people that he loves. Okay, he will protect and defend those people and their emotions. You see, he's got this little pitchfork in his hand. He's ready to dot or tag anybody that tries to come against him. He's protective of his emotions, but in a very mature way. He's the most emotionally mature individual in the tarot. And he's grounded by his emotions. He uses his emotions to ground and stabilize himself. He's not stuck to them, but he uses them as stability. He's not attached to them to the point to where they control him, if that makes any sense. But rather, he uses his emotions to stabilize his life, to create balance in his life. He doesn't shy away from the emotions, so meaning don't shy away from those wounds. Instead, he embraces them as a part of who he is. And he's overcome the negative aspects of the emotions to the point to where he can find solidity and stability within those emotions. This here, this Four of Cups energy, this is what's happening right now. So as you're watching this reading and up to the full moon, this is the transition that you're going through. So you've discovered that you have the key with this information, right? information that Spirit's been giving you through readings, through counseling, therapy, whatever. You're gaining information and wisdom in regards to the truth. You're seeing things clearly. Again, Spirit's been spoon feeding you, so you're being illuminated to the fact that you do have strength, that you are emotionally stable. It's just a matter of how you actually function when those emotions come up. Again, those triggers come in so that you can heal what needs to be hurt. So you're recognizing that. And what Spirit is showing me here is that you have the key now. So now you have the key to your life. You've taken back your power. You've risen to the status of the eagle. You're no longer playing chicken head. And you're this week, this upcoming week, through the full moon on July 10th, you are deciding to release all of the pain of the past. This is the people, situations, circumstances, environments, yourself, the parts of you that want to stay attached to the past. You're releasing that because you've recognized how much pain it's brought you, and you're like, no more. I'm not about to sit in this pain anymore. I want everything that is mine. Everything that God has for me, I want it. So what you're doing is you're turning your back, turning a blind eye to the past, releasing it completely. And what you're going to do is embrace people who are on the same level as you, embracing people, situations, environments, circumstances, jobs that support you with the Three of Cups here. You're no longer going to be willing to deal with situations, people, environments that do not support you, because you recognize that you are the key to the support and the success that you have in your life, and you're not willing to go backwards anymore. So the past is going to completely go away, because now you're seeing the hope of the rainbow. You're seeing your future. You're seeing opportunities to move forward into a more freeing life, right? This free yourself energy. You're accepting that the journey, yes, though it may be challenging, it is worth it, because look at where I'm going. So instead of looking at the past, you're focused on where you're going with that Three of Cups energy. And this is where you're going, my friends. Look at this. The Wheel of Fortune, the Death card, what is this? The Eight of Swords. The Eight of Swords is done. This is what's being killed right here, or deaded. I'm like, should I say that? I don't know if I can say that. Wow, I can't make this up. Look, and the Three of Cups with the Six of Swords. The Empress. Ten of Swords, done. I'm not going to pull any more, but look at this. Ten of Swords, Eight of Swords, the King of Pentacles. Oh my gosh, I don't even want to pull anymore. This is the end of it right here. The Ten of Swords. There's no more of this. You're not standing in the closet hiding anymore, staying stuck in stuff that has been holding you down, pinning you to a wall, making you feel like you have no strength. This is what's being resolved. This is the Death card. And look, this is a death to the old you. You see this? A death to the old you. You're doing away with it. You're like, I gotta go birth something new here, so you're gonna have to go. That's your old self, deading it. With this Eight of Swords energy, no more mental prisons. You're being free from these mental prisons, and the freedom is coming in because you've triggered the will to move in your favor. By doing this, you're aligning yourself. You're becoming what it is that you desire. That's how you get the will moving. So now the will is in motion. Here comes the Chariot to push you forward to the people that are a part of your tribe, to where you're supposed to be. That's that Three of Cups energy. This is celebratory energy with the Six of Swords bringing in peace, calm, stability. You see this here? I love this deck. This is the deck Spirit told me to grab too for the reading. But look at this, the fire. There's a fire here. You're moving away from the fire into the calm, moving out of the chaos. No more being burned. No more being burned. Did we see that no more wounds card in this reading? I don't know, but no more wounds. I'm hearing that. And then the Empress. This is you. The Empress can manifest and bring in whatever she wants. She represents this rabbit energy of fertility. This is fertility. This is stability. This is consistency. This is longevity. The Empress plants seeds and they grow. She waters them and they grow. She lives a very soft life. Her life is not hard at all. It's not hard for her to bring in what it is that she desires because she's aligned with it all. And that's exactly what you're doing. And if you made it this far in the reading, let me just tell you, you are a bad mother. Shut your mouth, okay? You are it. Girl, bro, dude, you are it. And you deserve every good and perfect thing that the Lord is about to give to you. Because if you made it through this reading, you have done a lot of work. No one's going to sit here and listen to this if they have not put in the work, or if they do not desire to overcome this energy here. But let me tell you that to whom much is given, much is required. As the eagle, you're prepared for whatever comes your way. When the wind hits you, allow it to elevate and promote you. No longer hanging with the chickens. Promotion is on the way. Thanks so much for watching. If you wouldn't mind liking, commenting, letting me know if this resonates with you. Thanks for listening to my mama. You know, when I get into this, then I'm acting like a mom. I'm like, I gotta tell my babies what to do, because I want you guys to win. I want you to win. I know how hard it is to sit in this energy, for I've been here so many times, and I can still at any point in time, just like you, find myself in this energy. And I'm just so thankful to be able to be a part of the journey of watching you blossom into that empress and develop and mature from the things that have been holding you back. My goal is to assist and support the world with being free from bondage, hostility, captivity, and any type of prison that we've placed ourselves in. It's 3:33 on the clock. It's time for me to go. Thanks again for watching. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.